The majority of people today are acting out of insecurity. Therefore, you should take what they say with a pinch of salt. What's going on, people? My name is Zulfikar and welcome to my YouTube channel, which is about helping you undo the conditioning and programming of this degenerate society fighting to keep you weak. If you like the sound of that, please go ahead and click the subscribe button so you get more content on this topic. Today, I'm going to talk a little bit about insecurities because this degenerate society has done one thing well, and that has made a lot of people insecure. It's made a lot of people unconfident. It's made a lot of people suffer from a lack of self-esteem. And all of this contributes to even more and more insecurities. And what's happening is, instead of people presenting themselves from a place of confidence and happiness and fulfillment, they're actually presenting themselves from a place of insecurity, and all of their content, all of their demeanor, all of their actions are there trying to pacify the insecurity rather than them expressing themselves from a more happy state. And in this age of social media where other people are watching other people constantly, like daily, people are browsing Instagram, they're browsing Facebook, they're browsing Twitter, they're browsing YouTube, and they're watching other people live a fantastic life, whereas what they're really seeing is just a snapshot of people trying to convince themselves that what they're doing is the right path by trying to get validation and approval from other people. What do I mean by that? Well, what you have today, especially on Instagram, is millions of miserable people who are not happy with themselves. They're unsatisfied, they've got insecurities, but then on Instagram, when the camera's on, when the filters are on, they're trying to make out they're happy, they're making money, they love their life, they've got it all. And then once that 5, 10, 15-minute video clip is gone, and today it's not even that long, it's like 30 seconds of shorts or whatever they call them. And then back in the real world, they're back being depressed and miserable and anxious. And what's happening is those people that are watching those videos are starting to feel depressed and insecure about their lives because they're thinking, well, my life is boring, I need to be more like that. And then they start doing the same thing, and this vicious cycle just starts gaining traction. But this issue of insecurity, like, it expands to practically everyone regardless of their situation and their circumstances. Like, literally everybody has some form of insecurity. Now, this might be from childhood trauma, it might be from wanting things and desiring things that they can't have. There could be a whole heap of reasons for why they have these insecurities, but I'll give you a couple of examples from personal experience. The first one is back when I was a lawyer. Obviously, I've spoken about this at length. Like, I hated that job, I hated doing it, so I was trying to find other things to do. And one of the things that I tried doing in the early days was drop shipping. And I remember, drop shipping some ladies' waist trainers. I created a website, made a few sales here and there, and then I ordered the product from Alibaba and got it sent to America. And the first few sales I made about $12-15 or something like that. And anyone that's made money online, you'll know that when you make that first sale, it feels great. So I remember being in the office talking to my lawyer colleague and told him what I did on how I made money. And what was his reaction? His reaction was to laugh, to be mocking, to look down on me, to be quite arrogant, basically, to be quite arrogant and thinking he's above that and think that what I was doing was completely stupid. So then I turned around and said to him, well, look, other people are making a lot of money from online means. They're making thousands every month. They're living a life that they're quite happy with. And, this is a legitimate method to make good money. His demeanor then completely changed. He got serious. He got a bit angry. And what was his response? He said, well, you're not going to make more money doing that than you are with law. And it was a pretty silly thing to say, but it was the way he said it which was the worst part. And at the time, I just ignored him because I didn't really care. I was happy with what I did. But later on, I realized that what he did was coming from a place of insecurity, because here is a guy who spent years and years and years trying to become a lawyer, spent thousands of pounds, and obviously he knows I've done exactly the same. But with me, he's seen I'm willing to give all of that up to try something completely different, which doesn't require anywhere near the work he had to do to get to where he is. So his anger and his frustration was more at the idea that how can somebody give up the position that I have for something which is so low, like selling things online. So really it came from a place of insecurity on his behalf, because he had an ego and a certain amount of status attached to the idea of being a lawyer, and for that idea to be trashed by me, another lawyer, willing to give all of that up to make money online, was just something he could not comprehend in his own mind. And to give you another example, like I also had a lot of insecurities when I left the legal field, and in the early part when I did leave, I trashed the legal industry. I trashed the 9-to-5 working model and tried to make out, like all the gurus do, that everybody needs to start a business. And I said all the same things that they say, which is start your own online business, become an entrepreneur, do this, do that, it's more fulfilling, yada yada yada. Who wants to be a 9-to-5 work slave, etc., etc. Now that I've got over my own insecurity, I'm a little bit more balanced, but at the time, it was because of my insecurity and me doubting and questioning whether I did the right thing. Like the real worry, the real issue was, have I done the right thing by giving up my legal career? Have I made the right choice? What if it doesn't work out? And that was my insecurity at the time. And my way of dealing with it was to trash the legal industry, was to trash that lifestyle, was to trash the 9-to-5 working day. And that really was just a way for me to make myself feel better and to convince myself that I did do the right thing and that I should carry on the same way other people do exactly the same thing. And you see this still today with those that are trying to tell you to leave your jobs because the 9-to-5 is slavery. Like, and I am being a little bit of a hypocrite here because I have said those things, but like I said, I've now changed my mind. I am more balanced about that. Like, obviously, entrepreneurship and starting a business is not for everybody. Most people are suited to be in a job working for somebody else. And truth be told, if I knew what I had to go through to get where I am today before I started, I probably wouldn't have left the job. I would have carried on doing it. But back to the point, like you see a lot of these online gurus and all of these online people trying to tell you that the 9-to-5 sucks, college is a scam, you need to stay away from it, you need to start your own business. These guys, especially the college is a scam guys, are acting from an insecurity. Their insecurity is that they weren't smart enough to get a degree, and therefore the degree is trash. Now, not all of them. Obviously, some people are legitimate and truthful, but most of these guys do have that insecurity of not having a degree and therefore trash it, and then they're trying to sell their lifestyle and convince themselves more than they are trying to convince other people that their chosen path is the right one, and this is why it's the greatest and why every person should follow it. And obviously they've got the other ulterior motive, which is to try and sell their course or coaching program by trashing one thing and promoting the thing they're selling. It's quite obvious they're coming from a place of bias, which means that it might not entirely be accurate. And this can be applied to any walk of life. This can be applied to any topic. It doesn't have to relate to business and jobs. I'm just using that as an example. The same thing is happening with all of the crazy topics that are causing a lot of anger and resentment, whether it's racism, whether it's feminism, whether it's the vax versus the unvax. People are coming from a place of insecurity and basically nailing down on their pre-bias instead of being open and honest and having a healthy discussion. And especially in today's online world where most people are drunk for attention, like they just want the attention, they want the dopamine hits, they want the engagement, so they will say things to get that attention. And if they do come across any resistance, they start to panic, they start to lose their mind because they're acting out of insecurity rather than a healthy, solid foundation. And this is the reason why you need to take what you see online with a pinch of salt, which is very, very difficult, because I'll be the first to admit I have fallen for a lot of the content that I have consumed. It's very difficult to stay away from it if you're constantly seeing it all the time. But you've got to realize this is a fake world we're living in, especially online. And most people are trying to present a lifestyle that they've made it, they're doing it, they're happy, whereas in reality, they're miserable. So you have to take that in mind and take what you read online with a pinch of salt. I hope you found value in this video. If you did, please click the subscribe button and I will see you in the next video. Until then, take care. Bye bye.